Hey loves, welcome back to Day Spills Tea. I, of course, am the lovely Day. And today I have three more stories for you where people have basically written into Reddit and they are asking, am I the A? And we get to judge and make the decision on, yes, you're the A, or no, you're not the A. Because sometimes people really can't self-evaluate or step outside of themselves and assess a situation to see, am I wrong or am I right? But y'all are happy to go ahead and judge with me, and I really do appreciate that. Before we get into today's stories though, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, show me just a little bit of love. Make sure you drop in the comments to give me your opinion. Is each person the A? Are they the jerk, or are they well within their rights to do whatever it is that they are saying that they're doing? If you haven't subscribed already, you can go ahead and do that now. If you're already subscribed, thanks so much for coming back. Really do appreciate you. Okay. So today's three stories we have a mother-in-law who put cameras in her daughter-in-law and son's bedroom. And then we have a father who keeps his daughter's photos in his garage so as to not upset his stepdaughter. And then lastly, we have a husband who has thrown away his wife's feminine hygiene products because he's uncomfortable with her using them. So sometimes the titles can be misleading. Let's hear them out and decide, are they the A? So first up, am I the A for banning my mother-in-law from the house after I discovered that she's installed a camera in the bedroom? My husband, a male 33, got into a car accident almost a month ago. He's been bedridden due to a back injury, and I've been his primary caregiver. The pressure has been too much for my mother-in-law. She keeps telling me to take care of him and be there for him constantly. She begged me to take time off work, and I did. Asked me to send her hourly updates about his condition first 2 weeks. But when I don't, she'd get mad and cause an issue. She visits every day, but doesn't do anything to help. Alternatively, she'd list all the things I should and should not do. The family keeps telling me she's just worried sick for her son, so I try to stay calm. Days ago, she called to berate me about not replacing the sheets quickly. I had no idea how she found out since my husband didn't call her. My sister-in-law called me to tell me that her mom installed a camera in my bedroom to see if I was taking proper care of her son. I was stunned. After searching the room, I found the camera. I called my mother-in-law and had a huge fight with her. She admitted it and said she was just feeling concerned and wanted to make sure her son was being cared for despite calling him every day. I yelled at her, telling her that she is no longer allowed into my home after this. She lost it and went on a rant about how I'm stopping her from seeing her son and that not seeing him will literally make her sick herself. I love doing that. Yeah. Anyways, not seeing him would literally make her sick herself. The family called me later to get me to back out of this decision, but I told them she breached my privacy and took advantage of the situation. They said I'm taking it too personally and that I can't blame a concerned mother for wanting to make sure her son is fine, especially since she listed things she thought I was doing wrong. I ended the conversation, but my husband is upset, telling me I'm being vindictive and that if his mom can't come, then he'll move there with her. We argued, then I went outside and he's been silent ever since. Am I the A? I think this is so easy. There's not even any reason to decide whether or not you're the A. If his mama feel like she can do a better job taking care of him and he's threatening to go be with her, there is no problem. Pack his bags, wheel him on over to his mama's house and be done. What the hell? What? No, you are definitely not the A. How disrespectful could someone be to feel like they can place a camera in your bedroom? In your bedroom! And who are these crazy people in your life who feel like she's justified in doing so? You don't get to be naked and free in your bedroom? You don't get to pick your nose and scratch your behind in your bedroom in your own privacy without your mother-in-law watching how you do it? Are you serious? If his back is hurt, you still might please him in some ways. Whatever. Is she watching that too? What the hell? I can't even believe somebody would sit up there and say that she's being vindictive or whatever. I'm assuming that your husband knew she installed the cameras, because if he hasn't been leaving, he was sitting right there when she did it, and he's a jerk, and you should let him go ahead and be with his mama and everybody else who agrees that his mama is right. Anyways, on to the next story. Am I the A for only keeping photos of my daughter in the garage while my stepdaughter's photos are in the house? Ooh, this one. Let's see what happens. My friend suggested I post this here to show my daughter why she's being unreasonable. Title sounds bad, but you'll see why it's actually for the best. So y'all give him a chance. My partner's daughter, 20 years old, is awful. She was a very dour kid and often made things very difficult in our house with extreme meltdowns and mean behavior towards my daughter. This was always an issue for my daughter, who's 23 now, but she handled things pretty well and understood the position I'm in with her stepmom. But our coexistence all came crashing down 2 years ago when my daughter unleashed on her stepsister and sent her a long, angry message about how she was treated and her opinion of her. In my opinion, her stepsister was indeed a terror, but my daughter is 3.5 years older and should have understood the tight spot I was in and been the bigger person. Stepdaughter is still a little moody, but she stopped being mean to my daughter a few years ago. Time has passed, and it's time to move on. This understandably made things difficult for me. My wife dislikes my daughter now, and my stepdaughter hates her. My daughter has barely spoken to me for the last 2 years since I moved across the country with her stepmom and blew up at me about stuff that happened in the last 10 years. So like back to when she was like 13. In the last 10 years with her stepmom and sister. Pretty childish tit for tat stuff, like not getting new stuff like her sister did, or her sister being mean to her with no interference from us. She claims it rose to the level of bullying, but my own sister, a teacher, said that's just how siblings are, and I agree. She thinks her stepmom treated her sister better, but my wife was very kind to my daughter by thinking of her at all. Many step-parents wouldn't, and she has never been mean to her, only disliking her to protect her own daughter when mine decided to be confrontational. My wife is the breadwinner, well, no duh. And I am not my daughter's only parent, so she did not have to have everything be equal in my house. My stepdaughter, on the other hand, only has her mother, so of course things were slightly skewed in her favor at ours. That's the way it should work. On the issue at hand, she came to visit for the first time and saw that we don't have photos of her in our house. I have photos of her in my office in the garage, but she's upset that there are none of her in the public in the house, unlike stepdaughter. My wife doesn't want to subject my stepdaughter to photos in the house of someone who called her a brat. And I can't blame her. Stepdaughter lives here and daughter doesn't. Why would we have photos of her in view of the stepdaughter? Am I the A? Yes, absolutely 1000% you're the A. You're a horrible, horrible father. Period. He's saying that she should have been the bigger person because she was 3.5 years older, but he's also saying these things span back to 10 years. So this child would have been 13 and being mistreated by her stepmother and probably her father and her stepsister. And you didn't do anything because you a loser and your wife is taking care of you and you don't want to lose any of her breadwinning income. So you let her treat your daughter like trash. That's how I see it. When I got like a quarter of the way through this, as the first time he said the spot I'm in with her stepmother, I already knew who was making the money. And don't get me wrong, it's no problem with women making more money than their husband. I used to make more money than my husband many, many years ago. It happens and it's no big deal. But in this case, His wife making more money than him or being the breadwinner is the reason why he is completely unwilling to stand up for his daughter at all. Daughter, don't even let him keep the pictures in the garage. Take all your pictures of yourself. He don't need, why does he even need them? Because obviously he doesn't care. He doesn't care. Who says that their child should recognize the position that they're in? What? Like, I feel so bad that she had to grow up in that household. So you have to sit there and live in a house where your stepsister is getting all sorts of things that you're not getting. Everything goes her way. And your daddy is just being a wuss. You are the a spineless one, for that matter. Oh, I don't like that story. I hate to hear about children being mistreated. Like, that's the worst. She didn't have a choice in you leaving, you and her mom breaking up. She didn't have a choice in who you selected to marry. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna leave that one alone. Okay, last story. Am I the A for yelling at my husband and telling him to get over himself after he threw away my tampon box? Okay, so don't everybody freak out and run because I use the word tampon. That's what's in the story. And it is an interesting story. And I really, really would love to hear male and female perspectives on this one. So here we go. Me, 27-year-old female, him, 30-year-old male, together for 3 years. Together for 3, married for 2 months. I'm assuming together for 3 years, married for 2 months. I don't know. They didn't clarify. So here's the thing. I used to use pads for my periods, but recently was able to start using tampons. I have medical problems. In comparison, tampons work 10 times better for me, especially when I'm outside, say like at work or traveling. My husband, Ryan, hates them. He never truly gave a reason other than just saying he doesn't feel comfortable with me using them. I didn't think it was a big deal at first since he said he hates a lot of stuff that I do, but puts up with it anyway, except for this. Okay. Red flags. He asked that I go back to using pads, but I made it clear since it's my body, I get to decide. He threw away some tampons he had access to, and I was getting upset. But to keep the peace, I just bought a box and hid it away from him. He somehow found it and threw it away. I didn't find that out till I had my period yesterday and realized I had no tampons to use. I was tired and too stressed. I just yelled at him after he admitted to throwing away the whole box. He argued that I already knew how he felt about this stuff, and yet I decided to still keep it around. I lost it and told him he had no right to do this and told him to get over himself already. He stared at me almost about to tear up or something, then walked out. Girl, who did you marry? He later went on about how we as a couple should take each other's discomfort into consideration and said he already tried to speak to me about those tampons, yet I brushed him off and insulted him and verbally abused him. He also said that if I still insist on using them, then I should do it while I'm outside the house. But I said that it won't happen. I feel bad for how it played out, but I was just at my wit's end and in so much pain, I lashed out. Did I go too far? Does he have a valid point or not? Am I the A? I really, 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 really want to know what men think about this. My opinion is, sweetheart, you are not the A. You are not the A. Your husband is absolutely an incredibly insecure A. And he is incredibly selfish as well. So you have a health complication. This works better for you and it makes you feel more comfortable going out into the world. Probably makes you feel less secure because let's face it, it's a bother. And when we have to worry about there being an accident and things like that, it is extremely stressful and uncomfortable. So if you have found something that works for you, why does he get a vote? I mean, the only thing that I could think is him being extremely insecure about you inserting something, which the size, generally speaking, is significantly smaller. And if it's not, then I understand why he would be insecure. Sorry. But earlier on in the post, she mentioned that he would, there were so many things that he hated about her that he would just put up with. Girl, who did you marry? Like, he is not for you. He's not on your team. And he tells you that you all should take each other's discomfort into consideration. Is he taking your comfort into consideration? To throw away your property, your feminine hygiene products of all things, and just leave you out here? Like, I have something I want to say so bad, but it would be so disgusting and all of y'all would be so mad at me. But I feel like it would be great payback for him throwing away your stuff and just leaving you out here. Like, terrible. Your husband does not sound like a catch. He does not sound like a catch at all. He doesn't sound like he's being sensitive to your health issues. He's certainly not being sensitive to your comfort level or your needs. And he is insecure and childish. And if you ever have children with him, I bet you, and I would love if you update this post, but if you ever have children with him, he is going to be uncomfortable with you nursing your children. So be prepared to buy a ton of formula, because he is not going to be okay with you allowing your children to suckle at your own bosom. Anywho, I enjoyed those 3 stories, even though the second one really stressed me out because I hate to hear about kids being mistreated. So we had, 2 A's and 1 not the A? But really 3 A's, because the husband in the not the A was definitely an A. Anyways, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed these stories. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.